Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today's video is going to be a really chatty Q&A. Last week on my Instagram stories I posted a question box and I invited you to ask me anything you want, whether it is life or personal or fashion or style related. So today's video is going to have a bit of everything, and I have done a style Q&A in the past, but I thought, you know what, open up the questions. So if there was anything that you wanted to know about me, then I am happy to share that. So grab some tea or coffee or your favorite drink, and let's get started. So the first question is, how old are you and were you always into fashion? So I am 37 years old. I turned 37 in February, and I have always been interested in fashion from a very young age. My mom and my grandmother were always impeccably dressed. My mom still is, but I remember my earliest memory of kind of fashion and styling outfits was staying at my grandma's for the weekend and then just sitting on the bed as she was putting on her makeup and pulling out everything that she wanted to wear that day, from shoes to accessories, and the hair and the makeup and everything. So I've always loved fashion. And then when I was in primary school I did some modeling, which I wasn't really interested in the modeling side as much as the styling of the outfits and putting together different looks. And I also at that time had like a fashion scrapbook. So I was a big fashion magazine fanatic. I bought all of the big fashion magazines every single month, and I cut out all of my favorite looks and favorite accessories, and I put everything in that scrapbook. So I've always loved fashion, and when I went to university I actually started a YouTube channel kind of on the side, as well as a fashion blog, which I'm pretty sure you will still be able to find. And if I can find it, I will link it down below, because it was on WordPress and I think it's still in the cloud somewhere. But I've always loved fashion, and I've always just had such a passion for styling outfits. The next question is, this your main job and what were you doing before? So I am a full-time content creator. This is my full-time job now, and it is just the absolute dream, but this isn't something that I've always done. So I am actually a chemical engineer. I studied chemical engineering in South Africa. I got my PhD, and most of the chemical engineers in South Africa work in the petrochemical industry, and I just always knew that that wasn't something that was necessarily for me. I just knew that it wasn't something that I would really enjoy. So after I finished my PhD, I actually went into the cosmetics industry. So I was a product developer. I developed skincare and body care products for a company in South Africa. So the next question is kind of a follow-up on the previous one, and that is, how did you become a fashion influencer? Now, the story is actually quite interesting. My husband and I moved from South Africa to Canada in 2020, so right in the middle of the pandemic, which was quite challenging. And the idea and plan was always to just continue my career in the cosmetics industry. So once we arrived in Canada, I started applying for jobs in the cosmetic industry. So I either wanted to be a regulatory consultant or still a product developer, but because it was such a slow time basically in all the industries, getting interviews took a while. So in the meantime, I started keeping myself busy, posting outfit photos and reels on Instagram. That was the time when reels started to become really big, so I dabbled in that, and I will actually post maybe 1 or 2 reels on the screen that I did, gosh, almost 3.5 years ago now. And I cringe, but it also is just really a testament to how much I've evolved, and it's just amazing how if you just continue with something, how it just gets better and improves over time. So I just did that to keep me busy, and I also started my YouTube channel at that time. And then, you know, because I was at home, but I wasn't at that time already a full-time content creator in the sense that I made money from it. I got a part-time job at a boutique here in Toronto called Frida's. So I worked there for 3 days of the week, and that is where I found my love actually for giving style advice and style tips. I got to interact with so many amazing women, and I just found my passion and realized that I love helping women get dressed. I love giving style tips, style ideas, outfit inspiration, because it doesn't come naturally to all women, and I'm just always just so happy to help women feel and look more confident. The next question is, what inspired you to start giving tips about style and elevated looks? And that is kind of what I spoke about with the previous question. I just, by being a stylist in a boutique and interacting with so many women, I just realized that I have just such a love for sharing styling advice and styling tips. And even though I don't have a background in fashion, I really have an eye for putting together outfits. And I think this is kind of where my scientific, almost analytical way of thinking comes in, because just in a few seconds I can analyze an outfit just by looking at it, see what works, what doesn't, and what I would change. And I've always actually had a love for helping women get dressed, and wherever I worked, whether it was in my previous kind of corporate jobs or whether it was in university still studying, women always came to me looking for advice. They always wanted to know what they should wear to a specific event, or how they should style a specific item in their wardrobe. So yeah, people just have always asked me for advice, and I love giving it. So I thought, you know, why not do it online so I can share it with as many women as possible. I'm also going to include some fashion and style related questions because there were quite a few of those as well. So the next question is, are you warm or cool undertone? Now, a few years ago, I had a color analysis done, and I didn't specifically go out and pay for the service, but someone was doing a course on color analysis, and they asked me if they could do an analysis on me, and I was always really curious to see what season I am, and I'm pretty sure the results came back as a medium winter. I'm pretty sure I'm not a deep winter, but I am a winter season, so that means my undertone is on the cooler side. That being said, even though I know that cooler toned colors look best on me, I don't always stick to that rule. Sometimes I just wear a color because I really love it, and even though the results said that I was a winter, I do think my skin is more on the neutral side, so I can go either cool or slightly warm. Definitely more cool, but I can get away with warmer shades up to a point. And the reason why I say that is because the foundations I wear are all neutral, and I can also wear gold and silver jewelry, although I know silver looks a bit better on me. So I would say I'm like neutral, veering towards cool undertone. This question asks, where do you get your inspiration from? And the answer is everywhere. If it's inspiration to style an outfit, I love going onto Pinterest, my explore page on Instagram, but I also love going on to retailers' websites, especially high-end luxury retailers or even the brands themselves, because I think they do styling just really, really well. So my favorite actually is to go onto Net-a-Porter's website, and if I'm looking for inspiration, for instance, to style a white blazer, I would type in white blazer, and then of course all of the white blazers that they sell will come up. Then I will click on one and you'll get photos or images of the product, but you will also get a fully styled outfit image. And I always just love these styled looks, and that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from as well. And if you live in Toronto or you're familiar with the area, I love to go either to Bloor Street or to Yorkdale Mall and just walk around the stores. I don't even necessarily have to go in. Sometimes I just love to look at the window displays. I get a lot of inspiration from the way stores and brands merchandise their windows and even the merchandising in store. So that's something that I love. I do still love fashion magazines, but I feel like that kind of has been replaced by the internet. So there are a few fashion newsletters that I subscribe to. I will link a few that I love down below. And then another place that I get my inspiration from, obviously, if you are really interested in fashion, then you love watching fashion weeks. So I just love fashion weeks, the shows themselves, but actually more the street style, and I just find that really inspiring. And I also get a lot of inspiration when we travel. So last year we went to Chicago, and then a little while after that to New York City, and I just remember coming back and being just so inspired to create new and different outfits. And the next question actually ties in really well with what I just said. The question is favorite places you've traveled to, and there are quite a few, but my list of places where I want to travel to is a lot longer than the places I have traveled to, but some of my favorite places that I've traveled to in the US specifically is Chicago, Washington, and of course New York. And every one of those cities has something different to offer, and I like them for different reasons. New York probably because it's just such an iconic city, and I just love the energy of the city. I get so inspired by New York, whereas Washington is a lot more cultural, which I also love. I really want to go back there. This time I want to visit in the spring or maybe summer, because the last two times I've been was in winter. And then in Europe, I've been to Paris a couple of times, and I always just love Paris. I think it's just such a beautiful city, so much to do. The architecture is absolutely exquisite, which is something you don't really see that much of here in North America. And then another favorite place that I've traveled to in Europe is Prague. We went there in 2019. We actually went to Berlin first. My husband and my brother ran the Berlin Marathon, and then we went to Prague. And I actually wasn't really keen on going to Prague, but my family wanted to go there, so of course I had to go along, and I was just so blown away, and it's definitely a place that I want to visit again. The next question is, what styles in clothing and accessories are seasonless? Now, this is actually a really interesting question, and I think it will very much depend on where you live and the weather or the temperatures you have in different seasons. But I would say the clothing pieces that I wear right throughout the year a pair of really great jeans, something that doesn't have any distressing or rips, just a really great classic pair. And I find that a mid-wash blue is just a really versatile color. A black blazer for sure. This is something that I wear all 4 seasons. Even in winter, it's great to layer under a coat. A white t-shirt, believe it or not. I wear my white t-shirt 3 or 4 times out of the week in spring and summer, and even fall, but I love it as a layering piece in winter under a sweater with just the collar peeking out, just to give that layered effect. So definitely a white t-shirt. Then something else I think that is seasonless is a cardigan, because it's something that you can kind of drape over your shoulders in the evenings when it's chilly in spring and summer, but you can properly wear it, even button it up, and you can do a lot of layering with it in winter. Then I would say a trench coat for sure. There are probably just 2 months out of the year that I can't wear a trench coat, but I think a trench coat is really seasonless, especially if you live in a country where it doesn't get too cold during winter. Then I would say when it comes to shoes, probably the only really seasonless pair of shoes in my wardrobe is a pair of sneakers, which I wear for all 4 seasons. But then a closed-toe shoe I think can also be really seasonless, something like a ballet flat or a loafer. You can always wear socks with those if it's slightly chilly, and in winter I probably just swap my flats for a pair of boots. But definitely the sneakers are seasonless. And I think when it comes to accessories, that can be really seasonless, and it very much depends on the color, and that is why I always say if you want to invest a bit more money, then go for accessories if you want more designer pieces. For instance, a black belt, something you will wear right throughout the year, and I get so much wear out of my YSL belt. It was very expensive, but I wear it non-stop even in spring and summer. So I think a black belt, the same with a black bag. Obviously go for the neutral color that you wear most, but I think black pretty much goes with everything, and it's not necessarily only tied to fall and winter looks. I love black accessories styled in spring and summer as well. So a black bag, and then a pair of sunglasses, either black or tortoiseshell. Looks really great right throughout the year. I would say the only colors that probably aren't seasonless when it comes to accessories is obviously really bright colors, but if we're looking at neutrals, maybe whites and ivories, something that is really light. I do wear lighter accessories during fall and winter, but not nearly as much as I wear my black or my dark brown accessories. Okay, I quickly had to take a break because the fire alarm went off, but that gave me a chance to go and get this, which is one of the answers, or part of the answer for the next question: how do you launder your clothing to help make them last? And this is actually a question that I get asked quite often, and I'm not an expert or a professional, but there are a few things that I do that I've found just help my clothes last a lot longer and also look new for a lot longer. So the first thing is to spot treat whenever you see a stain. I have a Tide to go pen. I take it with me wherever I go in my handbag. I love to wear whites, neutrals, lighter neutrals, but I also tend to spill something on myself whenever I wear whites and lighter neutrals. So I use this to just spot treat, and then when I get home I can wash the item. I even spot treat when I am at home, so I just put this on the stain, leave it for 5 minutes, and then put that in the wash. And this just works wonders. My mom spilled some red wine on one of her linen blouses, white linen blouses, and it took it right out. So I highly recommend this. Then a few of the other things that I do, I always wash on a cold cycle. I never use warm water or hot water. I just find that cold water does the trick to remove stubborn stains, and I think exposing different fabrics to increased temperatures, like with warm or hot water, can make them not last as long. So that's something that I do. Almost none of my clothing go into the dryer except for socks and maybe pajamas, but for the most part I air dry my pieces, and then they stay good looking for a lot longer. I've heard that if you put white t-shirts in the dryer, then that is when they start turning yellow. I can't confirm this, but I've just always preferred not putting anything that is really of value to me in the dryer. I also don't iron anything. I have an iron, haven't used that in more than a year. I use a steamer, and I really find that that is actually one of the #1 things that make my clothing last a lot longer, because even if you're really careful with an iron can burn the fabric. It can give it that shine that I absolutely detest. So I just steam everything and it really works wonders. And that is pretty much everything that I do. Oh, and it sounds silly, but I only really wash my items if they need washing. Either if there's a stain or, you know, I want to have it smell fresh again. But if I don't have to wash it, then I don't. Next question is, what are the items in your closet you still use or styles you pull from last year or prior years? And I think for this one, I'm just going to stick to pieces specifically for summer, because we are heading into summer. So the pieces that I pull out every single year, and I'll actually make a list here on the side, a white t-shirt, some tank tops, because that is just a really great basic to have. Vest tops, which I had a few vest tops last year, which I'm pulling out again. I just love vest tops. Any sort of denim midi or maxi skirt, I just love those. I think they look really, really chic. Summer dresses, linen dresses specifically, so a black and a white one. And then for shoes, my sneakers, obviously, because I tend to wear a lot of sneakers walking around in the city, and then some neutral colored flat sandals and a basket bag. And just off the top of my head, that is kind of the pieces that I bring out every single summer. Oh, and for bottoms as well, some shorts. I've really been loving the Bermuda style because I like a longer length short, but basically any short, linen shorts, denim shorts, I think those are just really great essentials to have. Okay, the last question, and it's one of my favorites. I'd love to see your top 3 jeans and also midi skirt outfit formulas. Now, I don't only have 3 for each of these categories, because I think jeans and a midi or maxi skirt is just so versatile. You can create so many different outfits. But the 3 kind of outfit combinations that I'm loving at the moment, and I'm going to go for more of a maxi length skirt in some of these, because I just love a maxi length on me, especially because I'm petite. I just feel like it's a bit more elongating. So the first one is a maxi denim skirt with a sleeveless little vest. I think this is just so chic, and you can go for just a tank top also if you want, or something that is more off the shoulder. But I think a maxi denim skirt is just really chic with a sleeveless top styled with some minimal sandals. It's just such a great outfit combination. Similar to that one is actually a maxi poplin skirt with a pair of ballet flats and also the sleeveless top. I think it looks so chic. Then another outfit combination with a maxi denim skirt, one that I wore recently, and that is a maxi denim skirt with a button-up shirt, just to make it feel a bit more elevated, and some ballet flats. And this is one of my favorite recent outfits. And then for a midi skirt outfit, also something that I recently wore that I absolutely loved, this midi white poplin skirt with some ballet flats, a white and black striped long sleeve shirt, and just a sweater thrown over my shoulders. I think this looks very French. The black and white is always just such a striking combination, and one of my favorite recent outfits. So that was for the skirts. Then let's move on to the denim outfits. Now, one of my absolute favorite outfit combinations is definitely denim on denim. So I either love to wear a denim shirt as a shirt, button it up, tuck it in, but I've recently been loving adding a white t-shirt underneath because I think it just makes the denim pop. So in this outfit I was actually wearing a pair of dark wash jeans, a dark denim shirt, white t-shirt underneath, and then my red ballet flats. And I wear an iteration of this outfit every single spring. Another classic jeans look that I always go back to, a pair of jeans with some flats. It doesn't have to be ballet flats like I'm wearing, but just a flat shoe. It can be a loafer as well. And then a white top underneath, so you can go for a t-shirt. I just went for a button-up shirt, and then a black blazer. Always a classic, always works. This outfit I wanted to have more of a relaxed undone look, so that is why I left the shirt untucked and then just tucked in one half. But if that's not for you, you can definitely tuck it in all the way, or go for a t-shirt that you just tuck in. But this is one of my favorite jeans outfit formulas. And then another one I have been loving is a pair of ankle length jeans, because I love balloon jeans. That is one of my go-tos at the moment. But ankle length jeans, and then a cropped jacket or a cropped cardigan, and then a nice flat, like a pointed flat or a ballet flat. That is one of my go-to outfit formulations. But with the skirts and the jeans, my favorite outfit combos, they do tend to change as the seasons change, of course. But for now, those are my favorites that I've been wearing on repeat. And that is it for the Q&A today. It was definitely a chatty one. Let me know if you liked this style of video, and I maybe will do one every couple of months or so. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer in the next Q&A, you're welcome to leave them in the comments down below. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I would love you to join the Styled family. Also, don't forget to go and give me a follow over on Instagram, where I share even more style content that you will love. So definitely go and give me a follow over there. And that is it from my side. I will chat again in my next video. Bye everyone.